I'm laughing and I'm going to show you why. We're going to have an interesting pre-show if this keeps up. Hang on one sec. Oh, come on. There we go. You get that. Get that ball, Murphy. Get that ball. So we've got a Murphy pre-show today because he's all kinds of perky for some reason. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get that ball. I'm going to get it. Here I come. I'm going to get that ball. I got it. I got it. There it is. You got the ball. We're going to be doing a show tonight, I promise, but we have time for a little bit of a pre-show, so why not start with a little Murphy time? He's being so adorably cute. Go get it, Murph. Oh, there it goes. Oh my goodness, where's it going? Where'd that ball go? Go get it. Go get that ball. Hopefully you can hear him on the mic. I think you can. Get it, Murph. Get it. Oh, do I have to go get that one? Okay, I'll get it. Look at these beds flying all over the place. Okay, I got it. I got it. You ready? Oh, get it. Get that ball. Go ahead. You get it. Right? He's always just a little bit out of picture. I need one of those movable cameras. Someday. Oh, there you go. He's so funny. Every day he picks a different toy to focus on. This is today's toy. I don't know why. I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know if there's a committee meeting beforehand. All I know is that this is what he does, and it cracks me up. Hopefully you're finding it interesting too. Get it, Murph. Get it. You can do it. Go ahead. So yes, I am here. We will get talking about the show topic in a few minutes, but he was just being so cute I couldn't not share. It just felt wrong. So I figured why not? A little Murphy pre-show time. Since he's being so cute today. He had a good day today. He got to see his canine girlfriend and his human girlfriend from across the street. All right, I know. You people want to see him. All right, I'll switch it back. There we go. There's Mr. Murphy. You gonna get it? Oh, what you gonna do? Are you gonna get that ball? He's funny because my first dog would only play if the human was interacting. Murphy doesn't care. He'll just play by himself. It's no problem. He just goes with the flow. That's not the one I wanted. That's it. There we go. All right, so we're going to go live in a couple of minutes. So if you have questions about live streaming versus recorded video, or if you just have general business tech questions, you can ask those too. I just bring a topic so we have something to talk about, but it's totally fine to to bring your own topic, like Murphy does, right? Murphy does his own thing. Murphy is his own doggy. Where'd that ball go? Where is it? Do you need me to get it? All right, I'll get it. I'll get it. Hang on. Here we go. All right. Yes? Okay. Ready? Okay, on your mark. Get set. Go! There it is. Get your ball right there. You can get it. He's good. He doesn't go near wires or electricity or outlets and stuff, and that's why I have to go and get it for him sometimes. Ready? There you go. Oh, you get that ball. So yeah, so we're going to talk about the difference between recorded video and live streaming video, and which of those might work better for your business, how to decide, all that kind of good stuff. It's over there. There it is. You can get it. And he's like, who am I talking to, right? Right? I know. All right, I guess he's done being on camera. Time for the human to get back on camera. Which is okay, because the show's going to start in 2 minutes. But I figured, hey, who doesn't like a little Murphy puppy time? Because he's so cute. He really is. It's definitely the kind of a situation where I take him out, walking around, or everybody knows Murphy. Like, he's like the mayor of the town, and I'm like invisible. I'm just his handler. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who's got the leash. It's all about the puppy dog. That's okay. It's actually fun that way. All right, so have you been using it, the video, not Murphy, obviously. Have you been using live video? Have you been using recorded video? Are you thinking about getting into it? We talked last week about the benefits of video just in general for your business. So if you missed that show, you can go back and catch that. The replays are out there. which is the nice thing about the replays. You can always go back, even if you've caught the live show. If you don't remember a particular thing or you want to listen to it again, you can go back and do that. We're all kinds of flexible here. All right, 1 minute and we will be ready to rock and roll. Good time for me to take a sip of water. All right, I'll give you one more peek at Murphy, although all you're going to see is paw. Because he's always, however I switch those cushions, it doesn't matter. He always goes to the one that's off camera. I don't know how he knows, but somehow he does. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kathleen, and I am here as your tech coach. For those of you who are new, what that means is technology is my day job, and it's also my hobby because I love it. I love the possibilities of it. And so I'm the person everybody turns to when they've got a question, they want advice, they don't understand something, they're having a problem with their technology. And I realize that not everybody has somebody like that, so hence we do this show. You can always bring your questions here. If there's something you're curious about or something you don't completely understand or something that you're looking for advice about. We do sort of take a business focus here, but we do branch out into other things occasionally because, hey, technology is everywhere in our life. So tonight we are going to talk about whether recorded video or live streaming video is better for your business. I know you've seen everybody out there using it, but are you using it yet? Have you jumped in? Hopefully if you have, but if not, we can talk about that. My goodness, what was that noise? It's going to be an interesting show, folks. But that's good, right? That's live. That's what it's all about. So let me hit the magic button and we will get started. Okay, that would be better. Hello and welcome. You're going to hear some barking. Don't let it throw you. My name is Kathleen and I am here as your tech coach. If you have any questions about technology, using it in your business, if you're looking for advice on stuff, feel free to go ahead and throw that into the comments wherever you are. And if you're catching us on a replay, you can always reach out to me in the places you would expect, right? You can go to yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. You can let me know what your question, your topic is. If you have an idea for a show, if you're looking for advice, if you don't like websites, you can go to Twitter. I'm your_tech coach on Twitter. You can DM me or you can tweet at me, whatever works best. Okay, so tonight we are talking about what is the difference between recorded video and live streaming video. Yes, they share a word. They're both video, but there are some differences. There are some pros and cons between the two, so that's what we're going to go through today. This is sort of a follow-up to last week's show where we talked about the benefits of video for your business, whether you're doing recorded or live. So if you missed that, you can go back and catch that. It's out there in all the usual places. All right, let's get into this. We got some stuff to cover tonight. All right. Okay, so just to level set, because not everybody necessarily has heard these terms, worked with these terms, or really understands the differences. For the purposes of this conversation, recorded video is anything that you've recorded before you air it. Okay, so this is, generally the kind of thing where, you've done some script, you've done a heavy, detailed script for it. Maybe you usually end up taking multiple takes and you take the best versions of those and you edit them together. Maybe you add some other materials in to wrap it all up into a video that then you post to someplace. So that is the one. The other side of the coin is live streaming. So that refers to, like this, video that is presented live in real time. Now, it's not that people can't see it after the fact, as a recorded video, but the initial creation of it is done live. So these are online, obviously, and you can do these just once, right, and have it disappear. You can set it so that it doesn't stick around, or you can send it to one of the platforms like I'm doing. So we're on Periscope, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and each one of those records it so people can catch it later. The other thing that you can do with these is you can actually record them locally to repurpose later, which we'll get into in a little bit. So there's something going on outside. I hear a bunch of kids, and they must be out playing ball. And Mr. Murphy feels the need to supervise, so there's going to be some barking tonight. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but we'll see how it goes. All right, let's dive in. Yes. Okay, so let me take that away. There we go. So what are the pros of doing recorded video? The big ones are that you can have do-overs, right? Who doesn't love a do-over in life? If only life came with a, rewind and a chance to do it over, but it doesn't. But on video, if you're recording your videos, you can. So for example, when Murphy Starts Working, if this was a pre-recorded video that I pushed, I would probably have cut that out. And that way, you wouldn't have to listen to him bark. Or maybe not. I mean, it depends on my mood. Maybe I would have left it in, but it would have been a choice I have, as opposed to doing it live where whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You'll have a controlled environment, right? So if I was doing this as a pre-recorded video, maybe I'd be in a soundproof studio, right? And I would have total control over who was in the room, who was out of the room, everything that was going on around it. And the other benefit of it is that if you do a lot of work with guests, so if you're going to start to do this or you are doing it, maybe guests are not, not necessarily that comfortable doing it live, or maybe they're just not available during your window when you normally push your material out. So this way it doesn't matter. You can record it days, weeks, months, hours in advance, whatever works, and have it ready to go live on whatever your schedule is, without having to negotiate with your guests to see whether or not they're going to be able to show up. Some of the cons. It takes a lot of time. There's no two ways about it. Recorded video is something that's going to take you lots and lots of time. So just as an example, when you do a live 30-minute show, it is 30 minutes, okay? Because that's what it is. When you're doing a recorded video, it could take you hours, days, weeks to create that 30-minute video. So there's a lot more time involved. It sucks up more of your time. They also tend to be more expensive because you are doing multiple takes, which means that somebody is having to then go through it all and stitch it together and make it look seamless and add transitions and all that kind of stuff to it. That's a problem, right? That's going to cost money. Time is money. So whether you're doing it yourself and it's your time, or you're hiring somebody to do it for you, in which case it's their time and money from you, so it's going to pay. Also, all of that recording equipment, re-recording scripts, writing the scripts, having the equipment or renting studio time, maybe you have a staff to write or to help with lights or prompting you, or maybe handing you whatever props you need for whatever it is you're doing. It all costs money, right? The more you do with that kind of stuff, the more it's going to cost you. Lag. There is generally a long delay between when you create your video, right, and when it's ready to post, if you're doing it pre-recorded. Because you do it, maybe it's taking you an entire day to get the material together for 30 minutes or an hour or 10 minutes or whatever it is you're doing it for. Then you're going to have to pass it off to somebody, or you're going to go and find the time to record it, to edit it, to make whatever changes to it, to add whatever you're going to it. And maybe you're going to find some things you're like, oh, I don't like the way I said that. I'm going to go back and redo it. Again, more time. So there is always a big gap between when you do it and when it gets pushed live. The other thing about it, and this sounds funny to a lot of people the first time they hear it, but it comes across very often as too polished to people. We as a society on this planet have gotten to the point where we have been hard sold so many times with shiny, fancy production numbers, the sell kind of thing, that we don't want to hear it anymore. It comes across as untrustworthy or cheesy, and anything that comes across too polished feels separated from us, because we know that we are not. We're human, right? And we're not that polished. And so anybody trying to come across and present themselves overly polished instantly creates a little bit of distance between you and your audience and your customer, maybe even a little suspicion, because it's like, okay, what are they trying to hide? Nothing is this perfect in life. So there is definitely a downside to being too polished these days. People want that more real, honest connection, and you do lose that with a recorded video. There's just no two ways about it. As you start to think about it, as you're watching different videos, whether on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, you're going to start to pick up on these things and realize that you are reacting differently to the stuff that is live than to the stuff that has been pre-recorded. So this is not to say that recorded video is bad, because it's not. It certainly serves a purpose, and it can be done in a way that these negatives can be controlled or managed a little bit, but it is a different way of presenting your materials. And it's important for you to just be aware of that as you are making your choices for your business, because you're going to be the one deciding, you're going to go this way with it or that way with it. And it's not that anything is wrong by any means. It's just that you need to be aware of what its strengths and weaknesses are so that you can make the best choice for you and your business for that particular situation. Does that make sense? Hopefully. As always, so I am, of course, as I'm saying this, Periscope has frozen, so I'm going to refresh it. So any of you folks over on Periscope, first of all, thank you. And thank you for the hearts and all that good stuff. I love all of that. And it's great to know that you're out there. Unfortunately, if you put a comment in, I've lost it because Periscope is the one tool that does not let us grab the comments easily. So just give it a second. I'm reconnecting, and then you can go ahead and put your comments or questions back in. For everybody else, it's just business as usual. You can just go ahead and make your comments, and it is all good to go. All right, I'm just making sure. Yes, okay, so Periscope is back. You're back, Periscope. I know the stream was still going. It was just my local copy where I keep an eye on the comments that froze because, hey, that's what happens. All right, let's jump back in. Let me switch back. So we have covered the pros and cons of the recorded video world, right? So let's move on to live streaming. Okay, so what is live streaming? So this is live streaming, okay? Whether you're watching this on the replay or you're watching it right now live, so it is, let's see, it's 8:16 p.m. Is that about right? I think that is. No, I'm sorry, it's 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, the 16th of May. Okay, so if you're here now, this is live. You saw Mr. Murphy before. I don't know. Let's see if he's available for a quick shot here. There he is. Right. So you heard Mr. Murphy before. He was my show open. He was making everything fun and interesting. And now, of course, he's exhausted and he needs a nap. But those of you who got to see him full time in real life, playing and having a good time. One of the benefits of live streaming is you get that live engagement and feedback. So I got the comments and the hearts and those smiles from the people who were watching Murphy before having a good time because it was happening real time and they were able to engage, and we had a little conversation about Murphy and how adorably cute he is. Not that I'm biased in the least, right? Live also comes with an event feeling, even if it's not an event. I mean, it certainly works great for events. Absolutely. If you're looking to do something for your business and you want to have that event feeling for it, this is a better choice than a pre-recorded video. Not that you can't show your video as pre-recorded, but it's not going to have that same feeling that this is going to. Live video comes across as more authentic. It feels more like a conversation because it is. Okay, so you folks are out there, you're making comments, I can respond to them, I can answer questions. I mean, there's that give and take. There's that real-time response for people, which makes them feel more engaged. And also, just as a benefit, people are drawn to this kind of thing. It's like the difference between, watching a ball game on TV or being in the stadium, right? It's a completely different experience, even though it's the same game that's going on. It's the same thing with this. And as a benefit, the studies that they've been doing since this has all been going on is that audience stick around 3 to 10 times longer on a live video than they do on a recorded video. Why the big span there, right? The difference between 3 and 10 is not it's consequential, but that's got to do with where they were when they started watching, or what point they jumped in on. Maybe they caught the end of it, maybe they caught the beginning of it. Maybe they came in to check out the content, wasn't fit for them. That's okay too. That's going to happen in recorded video also. So some of that is going to be fluid, some of that is going to be connection kind of issues. Maybe they were on a bus or a train and their signal dropped and they had to wait until they got to the next cell tower to join again. But the point is, people become engaged with it, and because you're talking to them and you're interacting with them and you're talking to them by name or user ID, you're just coming across more real, more authentic, and because you can't do this for any length of time as a stuffed shirt, like you just can't. Like as you're doing this, the very nature of it feels conversational, so that you're going to feel that yourself, and that's going to come through the camera. So that makes authenticity automatic because you can't stop it. That's just how it's going to come across. There is also the huge benefit of it being fast. Okay, so like I mentioned before, if you're doing a 10-minute or a 30-minute or an hour-long live stream, that's how long it takes. Now, there's a little setup time at the beginning. Maybe you do a little post-show, updating of the comments or, answering comments, that kind of stuff. But in general, you do it, and it, first of all, it's not intentional, but it's out there, right? It's all out there right away. Then there's that little bit of extra time before and after it, but it's not going to turn into days, weeks, months, years before people see the content because it's already out there for them. And then you can always do some, like I said, I usually go back, I answer comments. Maybe I adjust the description because the description usually says, when the show is and what day. I take that out once it becomes a replay, that kind of thing. So that we've got all of those there. Let's see. The other thing that feeds into the event feel and the authenticity feel is the fact that your audience will feel heard because you will hear them and respond to them, which is another huge win for everybody. It's also less expensive, right? So there's less expense to you. You can do this literally. Yeah, I can do this. I was on Instagram before. You can do this from your phone. You can do it from a Chromebook. You can do it from your laptop, your desktop. So it's stuff you already have, right? Maybe, over time you might want to upgrade, and go from the built-in camera on your laptop or your computer and go to, maybe a webcam or something. But it's minuscule. Literally you can start doing it for nothing, okay? You don't even need the tripod if you don't have one. It does just make it a little easier because it leaves your hands free if you talk with your hands like I do. But it is just super less expensive. Plus, you don't have to pay for a staff of people, to do your lighting and to hold cameras and hold a boom mic for you, because it's just all built into whatever you've got. You don't have to pay for studio time. You don't. That's not good. Lights just dimmed. You don't have to pay for expensive equipment. You don't have to rent studio time. Again, it really is as simple as grabbing your phone, picking where you want to go, and hit go live, and boom, you're there. You get huge positive SEO and ROI, search engine optimization, and return on investment. All the studies that they're showing are showing that everybody who is doing video, whether it's live or pre-recorded, are seeing positive results from it. They are seeing an increase in sales, in contacts for people who do service kind of work. There seems to be an ongoing pattern of, if you're doing video, if you do, let's say you do a blog post, right? And then you do a video on a subject, you're getting more mileage out of the video. Now, that does not mean that you shouldn't do the blog post, because you still should, because there are always people out there that prefer things different ways. Some people do prefer to read. But overall, given the fact that everybody has a device in their hands, in their pocket at all times these days, the video thing is kicking in. It is working. Also, people tend to comprehend and remember information as presented by video better than if they just are reading about it. And the reason for that is because the brain processes the information differently. So it's probably in school you heard that, if you're struggling with a subject, they recommended that you, as you're studying, write down what it was, or while you're in class, write down your notes. That was because that's firing off all parts of your brain. So your brain is collecting the information that it's getting visually, auditory, all that is kicking in, but the process of writing it down and then rereading it ties it together in your brain better, and so you're just going to remember it longer, and it's going to get processed faster. So these are all bonuses for our businesses, right? Because we know that our time in our customers' world is very short, right? They've got a lot of distractions, they've got a lot of other things to do, they got a lot of stuff on their minds. If this is the kind of thing that you can use to help reach out to them, to help them get the information they need faster and better, then why not? And then of course the other part of this is the fact that Google, Facebook, Bing, everybody, all the search engines, all the tools are giving more weight to video than they are to anything else right now. So again, it's going to increase the odds of you coming up in a search result. It's going to increase the odds that you're going to come up higher in the search results, which is always a good thing. It reaches more people that way because they're also more likely to recommend you. So like on YouTube, when you post a video, at the end of the video, it makes recommendations for other videos that they think you might like to see, because let's face it, their whole job is to keep your eyeballs on YouTube. Same thing happens on Facebook. Facebook feeds you things based on what it thinks you like to keep you around longer. Well, because you would then be doing video, whether it's live or recorded, you're now in that queue of being recommended by this company. So people who might never have found you otherwise might come across your video and go, wow, that's exactly what I've been looking for. I want to reach out to that person. Which is why you always want to make sure you include something like this, or even better, like this, so they know where to reach out and find you, right? These are all important things. It is flexible, okay? Video recording in general can be pretty flexible. Live streaming in particular is flexible. Oh, and by the way, when I talk about getting the high result, it is for video, but live streaming video gets even more return on the SEO and the ROI because the search engines all love it. But it is flexible. You literally, so like maybe some of you caught it. I did a quick live stream to Instagram. I did it to my stories in Instagram because I had a few extra minutes. I actually was a little ahead of the game on the setup, so I was able to jump on there and do that. And it's the kind of thing that you can do. You can just, in the moment, go, hey, you know what? I want to talk about this topic. Or, hey, I just had an idea I want to talk to people about. And you can just do it right then and there. Doesn't matter. You can do it anytime, anywhere. And because you're being in the moment about it, you're giving a unique perspective on your brand, your products, your services, which other people can't possibly do because they're not you. So just by doing this, you're making yourself unique, you're making yourself seem more like an expert, which you are, and being able to just jump on live makes it fun because you can do it. People, you know, who you always want to have a scheduled time, whether you're pushing recorded or you're doing live. You always want to, like, I do this show every Thursday at 8 p.m. But I also jump on if something interesting happens, if something funny happens, if I just feel like talking for a few minutes. And it doesn't have to be the same length of time. So like I do a 30-minute show on Thursdays, but I'll jump on for 5-10 minutes someplace, or like later on I'll go to Twitch after I'm done here and I'll hang out for a couple hours answering questions and talking to people. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you do it, where you do it, when you do it. And as long as you have something that is consistent, that people know to expect, know where to go, know where to recommend other people go check you out, then you've got the best of all worlds right there. There's also a certain amount of energy that comes through on live video that you don't get on recorded. Why is that? Because recorded comes with a safety net. Recorded lets you do do-overs. You don't get that in live, right? So if I knock, a light over, or if Murphy hears somebody and he starts barking, that's all going to be out there because that's where it is. And knowing that you're live, knowing that people are out there, being able to see that they're commenting and doing up hearts and smiley faces, and thank you for that. It boosts your energy, and that definitely comes through to the camera. So, if you can test it yourself. Watch a recorded video and then watch somebody doing a live video, and you're going to see, the recorded is going to have a pretty steady level of energy, whereas the live is going to have lots of energy with peaks and things are going to happen. And it's like going to see a Broadway show. Yes, they've been doing the same show week in, week out for years. My God, how long did Cats run? But every time you went, it was a new experience. Something could have happened, something could have changed, a set piece falls over. You never know. It doesn't take away from the experience. It doesn't take away from the value of the story or the talent of the people who were involved. It just gives it that little extra something that was like, that was a moment in time and I was there and I caught it. That kind of thing. Like anything else, there are cons. Okay, nothing is perfect in life. Nothing at all. So, the unexpected can happen, right? Like I was just talking about, okay? Murphy may start barking his head off at any moment. Probably not because I hear him snoring, but it's certainly possible to happen. I'm throwing my hands around. I could knock this camera. I could knock over the phone. I could knock a lot of things off. I could be trying to bring up the promo for the mailing list and I could inadvertently, hit a different button. It happens. It's not the end of the world, but it's the kind of stuff that is going to just happen, and because there's no do-overs, you can't take it away. Technical issues are going to happen. Now that, again, this could also happen in recorded, but nobody will see it happen unrecorded. The camera could fail. The bandwidth could drop for some reason. All of a sudden my mic may cut out. That happened to me a couple weeks ago. Turned out a certain furry dog had kicked the plug. I moved it. It won't happen again. But there are technical issues. There's a lot of having to figure stuff out in order to make it work, which, again, not that it doesn't happen with recorded video, but with live video, if it's happening while you're doing a show, it's a little bit harder to deal with. And then there's that fear part of it. What if nobody shows up? What if I'm just talking to myself? I'm going to feel like an idiot. The good news is that one's easy to get over because even if that's the case, even if none of you lovely people had shown up, and I do thank you for showing up, by the way. I keep looking over here because that's where I have you. You're over here in my world. Here, I can show you. So in my world, okay, the camera's here, the mic is up here, and you guys are over here because this is where I can watch the chat. This is my desk camera. It actually does, hang on, this. See that this is you, this is all the comments, and I have it coming up on a big screen. So, you know, there's just that reality, but there's, you know, if nobody showed up, okay, and I would miss you, but the reality is this doesn't mean that I still can't do the show, that I still can't talk, that it still won't have value. It could just be maybe there was a power outage someplace, or maybe, you know, life is happening and folks couldn't come by and come hang out. All that's fine, because this will live on after the fact, as long as you don't set it up just to be a one-time thing that goes away. If you set it up and let Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, you know, keep it, then people will come and find it later, because that's the reality. You're going to have a certain amount of live viewers, and that number is always going to be lower than the viewers who end up watching it on replay. So don't let that throw you. It's not a big deal. A lot of people get really angsty about that, but there's no reason to, because eventually, you know, they will come. If you record it, if you stream it, they will come. It's true. So, you know, some other unexpected things that can happen. You know, all of a sudden the landscapers could show up to start cutting the grass, right? They don't contact you beforehand. People, you know, next door maybe all of a sudden start arguing, or they start doing construction. You know, backdrops fall. You have a coughing fit like I'm about to. Hang on one sec. That is one of the benefits of upgrading to a slightly better setup, is that you have a button you can hit to turn off your mic for the moment. But it's all fine. And people enjoy when things go wrong. It's kind of like the people who go to hockey games to see the fight and then a game breaks out, kind of a thing. It's not quite on that level, but it's sort of there's sort of an analogy there, because you know, it breaks up the monotony of life to see somebody else struggling with something, or something funny happens. I mean, that's what all the bloopers are, right? I mean, who doesn't love a good blooper reel? That's why we all stayed at the end of the movie through the credits, right? We're looking for the bloopers. And that's going to happen, and it's okay, because again, it makes it engaging, it makes it entertaining, it makes you come across as a real person, not just a faceless, you know, emotionless business. You're real. Life is happening, stuff happens, and your reaction to it should just be going with the flow, or laughing at yourself. Don't get flustered by it. Don't let it throw you, because the more you just deal with it and even enjoy it, the better it is for your audience. So that's all good. The other kind of unpredictable thing is, like, sometimes, you know, you can have a chat going and things can go off the rails in the chat. You know, sometimes maybe, you know, you get trolls in there or whatever. And that can be a little hard to handle, you know, by yourself here, but it can be, you know, as you get used to doing this kind of stuff, you can manage it. Or you can have maybe another teammate, you know, be in chat and monitoring things and controlling things there. Over time, you will have certain viewers that you will come to know and trust, and maybe you'll make them moderators, because then they can help you out with the chat kind of issues, or answering questions, you know, that you're not going to be able to answer right in that second, or tamping down fires that are being set by the trolls, all that kind of stuff. So these are things, you know, they're definitely cons, they're definitely challenges, but, you know, what doesn't come with challenges in life? Everything has challenges. Okay. So this is probably what you really want to know, right? Which is best? Tell me, Kathleen, tell me which one I should use. I can't tell you what's best for you, because it depends on you, your situation, a bunch of different things. So just as an example, let's just say you have a store, all right, and maybe you sell sneakers, okay, and you've got some new cool sneakers coming in, like, I think Vans, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but they're supposed to be coming out with Harry Potter themed, right? Maybe you want to say, hey, we're getting them, they're going to be here on this day, you want to promote that, you want to let people know, maybe you've got, you know, one that you can show off. For that, I would say go live. But of course, if you are maybe in an area that doesn't have good bandwidth, right? Maybe your store doesn't have an internet connection yet. Maybe, you know, your phone, maybe you dropped your phone 2 hours beforehand and it shattered into pieces. Okay, well then you might have to record something to push it up, because that might be your only option. So there's no one answer to that question, because it is highly dependent on your situation and your goals. But just as a rule of thumb kind of thing, if you're looking for something highly polished, all buttoned up, everybody, you know, every hair is in place, makeup is done, the lighting is perfect, you're not getting reflections, right, like I am there, then, you know, that was probably a situation for recorded videos. If you absolutely need the do-overs, if you actually absolutely need to have it, at that level, then that's the way to go. The other side is if you want to have a conversation with your audience, if you want to build a relationship, if you want to respond to timely events, timely situations, live is the way to go. Because you can jump on, you can do it. You can always follow it up with a recorded video, but just as a rule of thumb, that's how I break it down into two categories for people. As we talk about things, we kind of switch back and forth and go, okay, well, here are your options. What are your goals? This is what we do. But at the end of the day, the combination of both is best. Let me try that again. See, no do-overs. The combination of both is best for any business. You need to be doing recorded videos. You need to be doing live streaming. It does not have to be overwhelming. It absolutely does not. If you need help with recorded videos, you can reach out to, maybe you don't have, a ton of money to do, $10,000 for a half-hour video, once a month, every week, whatever. Understandable, believe me, we're all living on a budget. But you can, if you really, really need to do it that way for your reasons, look around at the local, community colleges, the high schools. Look for those people out there that are, already really into doing this stuff, probably already have their own equipment, already know how to do the editing and all that kind of stuff. Now, it'll be less expensive, absolutely. But there's still going to be an added expense. And you may have to go back and forth a few times before they understand how you want things presented, before they dial in on what it is that you want. But that's certainly doable. For the live streams, literally, you just need your phone, okay? You have a phone, it has a camera, you have a connection, you can go live. And by doing those combinations, you can certainly do that. The other benefit to doing live like this is as long as you don't take it down, it can persist as a recorded video. So just because people maybe aren't there during the live stream doesn't mean that nobody will see it, because it will be out there on Periscope, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and people will find it through searches, or maybe they're following you, so they'll get a notification. So this is why, everybody's always saying these, no, not that one, sorry, this one. These things, like, you want to encourage people to bookmark you, to like you, follow you, turn on notifications, because then they will be told about when you go live, and then you can be sure that some of them will come and check it out. The other nice thing about the live streaming thing is you can take it and you can break it into shorter ones. So like sometimes I take the 30-minute show, sometimes there's like 5 or 10 minutes of stuff that like I can chunk up. Sometimes there's a minute of stuff that I can throw up on like YouTube TV. Sorry, not YouTube TV, Instagram TV. But the point is you can repurpose these videos. You can go back, maybe go over a month of them and kind of do like a highlights reel and put those together and put those out as a recorded video. So you can actually get the best of both worlds from the live streaming. The, recorded video is recorded video. I mean, you can show it during a live stream. You do have to be careful about that. You have to make it very clear which pieces are live and which pieces are recorded, because otherwise you will lose some of the benefit from Facebook and Google, because they very much are favoring live right now. They won't penalize you for doing a little bit of recorded, but what they will penalize you for is if you do a recorded one presenting it as live. That they will pay you for. So what kind of, so recorded video, what would be some good examples for that? Like we talked about earlier, if you're going to have guests on, and maybe they're not available during your regular time slot for your shows, you could pre-record it and then do that as a separate push. And that gives you a lot more flexibility, especially like, if they're in different time zones or what have you, or maybe they do their own show at exactly the same time. That gives you then some flexibility there. Anything that is more polished, more formal, anything where you want to completely control everything, every moment, and maybe you don't want feedback in the moment, then you can go ahead and do a recorded one, because that's what those are built for. For live video, some examples of things that go well. If you can get your guests to do it live, the extra questions that you get and the extra feedback that you get from your audience will also make that a much better show overall. So that's a great one to do. Little, peeks into like what's going on in your business. Maybe you're launching a new product or service, or doing a little bit of promotion for something, or maybe like you're celebrating an anniversary and you're having a party for your employees and your vendors and your customers. You could pop on for, a little while, or throughout the whole thing. You could live stream it and make your people who couldn't be on site with you, make them a part of what's going on. Everybody loves a party, right? Why not go for that? Answering questions, right? Some people get on, maybe once a month or once every couple of months and just do Q&A, right? They just say, go ahead, bring it on. They start promoting it early so people have their questions ready. But you can do a live Q&A. Those tend to get very good responses because people are being heard, they're getting the response they want, and they're making those connections with you. Very often they make connections with people in chat, so you start to build a little community there, but those can be very powerful, very handy. And you can also accept pre-submitted questions. So if the person isn't sure that they're going to be able to be there live, you can have them pre-submit the questions by email or in a post, in comments on a post that you're doing to promote it. And that way, again, they'll be heard, they can come back and see it, and everyone else gets the benefit, right? Everybody else gets the benefit of that person asking the question and then learning the answer, because maybe it's a question they hadn't thought of yet, but as soon as they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, that would be good to know. So now you're helping them get that extra information that they need without them having to have even thought of the question. So that's really good. Educational sessions can be hugely popular and very helpful when you're doing them live. Again, you've got that real-time interaction with the people who are watching. You can be talking about something and somebody asks a question which maybe triggers something that you didn't really think to include, but now you're realizing that it needs to be there. So boom, you can go ahead and throw that in there, which is great. The other thing which people love is behind the scenes. So if you took your camera, and you were in your storeroom and you're unboxing those new Vans sneakers, right? People love that because it's something that they may never have seen. Okay, now I've seen it because I've worked retail, but not everybody has. Before I just went on today, I noticed that on Periscope, there was a farmer who was showing how he is, setting up his machine to go out and seed his field, and he was talking to people and answering questions and all that kind of stuff. It was fascinating, to be honest. I was afraid I was going to be a little late because I was so busy absorbing all this information and watching and being impressed by the fact that he was out in a field, somewhere in an area that probably doesn't have great connection, and yet he was still able to do this real time, and I got to see things I would never have seen otherwise. That is another huge win for live. It's the kind of little, people love a little peek behind the curtain, right? It's the Wizard of Oz. Everybody wants to see what's going on behind the curtain. And you can invite them in and bring them in and make them feel valued and special, and also make it very clear that you have nothing to hide, right? This is you, this is your business, how you do things. Now, I'm not suggesting that you give them, the code to your safe. I'm not suggesting that you necessarily, share your, accounting practices or anything. But I'm talking about the interesting stuff that for you might be day to day because you've been doing this for however long, but for somebody who has never been in your industry, has never worked with somebody with you, or maybe has, but has never really understood how it all fits together, behind the scenes is gold. They're absolutely going to love that. So that is another good way to go. And I believe, yes, that was the end of the list. So I'm going to just do one more check here. I think we're all good. I pretty much had been able to anticipate questions, so we're good on that score. I was a little bit ahead on the questions this time. But thank you all for being here so much. I really do appreciate it. As always, I do hope you'll sign up for the mailing list. I have some big ideas coming, so you can go and check that out. For example, one of the things that's the people on the mailing list are going to get all the details about first is that I have put together a way to do this level of live streaming remote. So you could be doing your live stream from your phone where you can't really do overlays or have your logo or bring questions up on the screen or whatever. But I can, in one click, be able to do that for you remote, so that not only are you able to do it anywhere you want and easy from your phone and all that kind of stuff, but you can add that little bit extra pizzazz to it that kind of bumps up your game a little bit without being too overly polished. So if you're curious about that, you can feel free to go ahead and join up for the mailing list. Yes, you can come and visit me on Discord if you like. If you email me, I'll send you a invite for that. But you can also just reach out to me, go to the contact form, yourtechcoach.net, and I'll be happy to put you on the list to get the information. I'm hoping to get that information out next week. We're this close. But it's really exciting, and I think it's going to be a great way for people who want to do this kind of stuff but are not interested in having to learn all of it or understand how to get, from your phone onto YouTube, onto Facebook, all that kind of stuff. I can take all that pain away for you for one click, and that way you can concentrate on providing the content to your audience, and I will take care of the rest. It's a good deal. So feel free to reach out if you are interested. Thank you all so much for coming. I am here every Thursday, 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I always bring a topic, but you are more than welcome to ask your own questions. If you think of something after this is finished, or if you're catching this on the replay, no problem. Go into the chat on Facebook or YouTube and put your comments, your questions in there. I'm more than happy to take care of them there, and I do check back, so you don't have to worry. They do get, everything gets seen. I get notified every time somebody makes a comment, so it's all good. If you are on Periscope, we can't do that, but you can reach out on Twitter. Oops, I keep hitting that one. That's the one I want. You can reach out on Twitter at your_tech_coach, or you can hit me up on the website, youratechcoach.net. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you found this helpful. I hope that you will take the step, join everybody, get out there and compete with everybody else, doing your videos, whether you're going to record them, whether you're going to do live, or even better, do both. It's the perfect combination. All right. I will see you next week. I hope you have a great weekend. And until then, bye.